Hello, crypto miners! Mary is here again. We had like a little pause over the weekend. That was nice, but I'm happy to be back. And today we have returners. So very happy to have Vitreus here with us again. Hi, Tim. Hi, Chad. Hi, Brenton, I think.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
We're great.
Super.
Hello,
So, oh, hello.
this is Jaren. I joined from the main account so everybody can see it.
Oh, Jaren, of course. Welcome, Jaren. Do we have, who else did we have? Brenton is here.
Brenton he's down in the listeners,
Oh, there. Yeah, I
and
see
then
him.
Taylor, I believe.
Taylor. Let's
And,
have them all up here.
and I think we're missing Baron, but I don't see him down there yet.
Yeah, he has to raise his hand and I
Yeah,
can see him.
I'll have him raise his hand when he comes in.
Okay, very good. Great. All right, so you are back, guys. It was a really good session we had last time you were here. I think it was a few weeks back. When
Yes.
was it? Let me check.
By the way, Chad is down there with his hand up. Collab Chad. Definitely need
Lab.
him. He's the CEO. We need him.
Okay, let's bring him then.
And Baron, if you could put your hand up.
I have invited Baron and Brent. Where's Chad? I don't see him.
Collab Chad. It's a black and white picture.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
There. Now everyone should be on their way up here. If they say yes to my request. Yeah, welcome up here. How many are we now? 1, 2, 3, 4. You're multiplying.
Hi, Mary. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Hi, Baron.
Hi, Mary. This is Chad.
Hi, Chad. So everyone had to say hi now. Shall we have one more time? We have Baron. Hi, Baron.
Hello.
And we have Brent.
Hello, hello.
Hi. And we have Jaren.
Jaren, yes.
Jaren. And Chad.
Hello, hello.
And Taylor.
Hello.
And Tim.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. And we have lots of audience. Hello, everyone down there in the list as well. So, where did we leave it last time we were here? I think you have some news for us, maybe.
We've got quite a bit of news. I'm not sure what the reference is in specific to the news that you'd like for us to share, but we've got a lot of things we want to talk about today.
That's great.
We've done a number of different AMAs over the past 2 to 3 weeks, and we've digested and gone back and listened to our prior AMAs, and we've really taken a lot of this complex information and tried to make it much simpler for everybody to understand. So I think that we're going to be able to deliver a little bit easier of a message that will click with everybody today. Tim and myself will do most of the talking today. I'm going to begin by just providing another backstory of my experience in the career and my company that I've been running for the past 17 years. And I want to talk about it from that standpoint today, from that company, because that company is our beta company that we're building this platform for specifically. And then once it's built for that company, we're going to take it to market and bring more companies on just like my company. So I want to really just evaluate this from that perspective, that angle today. So, and then Tim's going to come in on the back end and provide a little bit more technical discussion around some of our capabilities and how we're positioning our various products and whatnot. But I want to kind of just jump in and revisit my background. 17 years ago, I founded a company called Collaborative Wealth. You can visit collaborativewealth.com. You can see it out there. It's on the internet. But I was 24 years old. I founded this company in my house and built it to what it is today. We serve over 1,000 households in a traditional finance capacity, where we serve those households in financial planning and investment management and insurance and retirement planning. And we bring a full service, full spectrum of traditional finance services to a lot of people. We have people spread all over the states, the US, 42 states, and we have multiple offices across the state of Florida. So as we've built this company over the years, we've been leveraging technology and using technology in our company. But there are a lot of problems that we're beginning to encounter that we're trying to solve. So we've really identified 4 main problems that Collaborative Wealth is encountering that other companies similarly are encountering as well. So if we can solve these problems for my company, Collaborative Wealth, then we can solve this stuff for other companies as well. So those 4 problems, number 1 is going to be high cost of technologies. Number 2 is going to be that those technologies are really fragmented. They don't talk to each other. They don't integrate very well. Number 3 is the company has very inefficient business processes. And number 4, and this is becoming a really big one, is cybersecurity and all of the various vulnerabilities that our centralized technologies hold that we have a duty to protect against to secure our clients' information. So those 4 areas are some really serious problems that we're trying to solve by using technology. What we found is centralized technologies, they're not cutting it. They're not doing the job. So we've had to go back and revisit the whiteboard and really decide how we want to pursue the implementation of technologies to solve these problems. And therein lies where we just said, let's build our own. So we have spent the past 3 months building and designing this digital blockchain ecosystem that can solve those problems, those 4 problems. So we will also be issuing a coin on Vitreus coin, and that will have its own use case, 2 use cases. One being it'll serve as a native currency for that blockchain ecosystem. And 2, it'll serve as a tool to be able to commit to a pool and earn income from the company being the software company. So we've got a lot of really cool, innovative ways that we can integrate the use of this cryptocurrency into our blockchain environment and still being able to maintain the blockchain environment to solve a lot of those problems that I mentioned at the beginning. So I'll spend a little bit of time on those 4 problems. Number 1, high cost of technology. We've got 34 different technologies that Collaborative Wealth uses, and they cost us about $300,000 a year. So very expensive use of a lot of different technologies that solve different problems that we have within the business. And number 2 is they're very fragmented. They don't integrate well with each other. They don't talk to each other. So the sharing of data back and forth from these various technologies is really hard to do. And that's also what we're trying to solve with our various Vitreus technologies. Business processes. So the way we go about maintaining compliance is going to be really important. Finance is a highly regulated industry. So as an investment company, we have a regulatory body that makes sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing for clients. That's what we call regulation. And we have to stay in compliance with that regulation. And it requires a lot of various processes and people to make sure we're doing the things that we need to do to stay in compliance. So it's a really tough process to just make sure we're up to speed and we know all of the changes that the regulation is putting into place for us. And then we've got to make sure that we adhere to those changes. So we've created this technology to automate a lot of what we do around those processes. And we've created it to provide a smart function, or AI, artificial intelligence function, to come in and make sure that the system knows what it should be doing and where to watch for new regulations to come into play. And I like to think of this in terms of, I see it as a kind of a digital, almost a robot, for example, that serves as a chief compliance officer for these companies like Collaborative Wealth. And we need that. My chief compliance officer needs something to do the heavy lifting for her so that she can have capacity to serve in other areas of the business. So this artificial intelligence idea, and it's becoming a big trend lately, is something that we want to embed into this blockchain ecosystem. And it fix a lot of these cumbersome processes that businesses are encountering today. And that leads me to my fourth problem that we're trying to solve, which is cybersecurity. And right now, all of those 33, 34 different technologies that we're using at Collaborative Wealth, those are centralized technologies, meaning someone is out there controlling the lever, controlling the access to data, where it's stored, all the decision-making around how that business operates. And we're subject to that level of control. That's called centralization. Decentralization fixes a lot of those vulnerabilities from a security standpoint. And I'll let Tim, this is a great segue to bring Tim in and start to talk about some of those cybersecurity issues that we're wanting to tackle as part of this overall solution, this single solution for businesses like Collaborative Wealth.
Thanks, Chad. So, as Chad, great overview. Always good to hear you articulate that from a business perspective. I'm going to focus on the cybersecurity element. And the reason why you all care about this very particular topic is this is a very strong use case for our go-to-market strategy as it pertains to revenue. And Chad, before I get into the areas of cybersecurity, maybe close out with the revenue diversity, the 3%, and what this will mean as we take this into the financial sector.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for reminding me. I meant to address this. So the reason this business means something to the coin holder is because the income created for the coin holder is derived from the success of the business. So as we're able to generate revenue on the business side, we're able to create a royalty structure, a royalty payment over to the coin holder pool to pay coin holders. And we can't pay all coin holders. So what we're requiring is that anybody who's committed to a long-term investment standpoint from a coin holder side of things can commit their coins to a program that we call VIP, Vitreus Incentives Program. And that's a pool that coin holders can commit their coins to stabilize the coinage and participate in royalty payments from the company. The company being Collaborative Digital Innovations. That's the software company. And that's the one out there building, designing, implementing, taking to market all of these various software solutions for our business clients. So as we're able to generate revenue on this business side, there is a 3% royalty paid from the business over to the VIP pool. So anybody committed on the coin side who has committed their coinage to the VIP pool is able to now participate in that royalty cash flow. It's not everybody, again. You have to commit and provide something in return to be paid for it. So by committing for a long-term period of time, and stabilizing the coinage base, we're able to pay royalties over to that VIP pool and generate income for coin holders.
Perfect, thank you. So going back to the topic of cybersecurity, in the financial sector alone, in 2022, it's estimated that companies spent $200 billion on just cybersecurity technologies. So these would be things like investment areas, like protecting their data, protecting their network, how different applications communicate with their clients. Threat intelligence being understanding what vulnerabilities are out there, what they need to do to patch or mitigate those vulnerabilities, and maintain, which is an aspect of compliance. And then security analytics being data that would tell them doing what issues they may have, or what technologies that they would want to employ to continue to maintain that compliance. And this is a very important number, and it's just one of the four areas that Chad talked about. But at a $200 billion spend, what we are doing is we are providing a global distributed infrastructure. So this is non-centralized technology. And it's very important because I've said in a couple AMAs, we aren't just developing software. We are also architecting and designing a very specific global infrastructure that can scale and deliver these products into the financial sector and be consumed in various ways. And I'll get to that here in a moment. But this distributed infrastructure is critical to the design because of its inherent nature of being secure. The blockchain itself is a piece of software. The enhanced blockchain as a service is a combination of all the software and is represented by our portfolio products of Acquiesce, Vitreus Essentials, Emporium, and Advisor Retire, with ComplyQ being our artificial intelligence. So what we're doing is, if I am a bank or an investment firm, as Chad said, and I am spending 6 months of my year across 30-something technologies, and I have to have external agencies and still employ these mitigation technologies, right? That is a lot of time, that is a lot of capital, and that is a lot of resources. So we are able to help a company automate the evaluation of their data. We can eliminate the risk of network threats. We provide security analytics built in to our platform as meaningful data, and we're able to integrate this securely on-prem or as a service to a very secure portal, depending on how it wants to be consumed. And the reason why this is very, very important to revenue is this is not a solution that exists today. This doesn't exist today. This is a permissioned blockchain with a very with a unique consensus mechanism. We have a unique identity system that's based on how we pull and we tokenize our assets, and things like smart contract logic, zero trust knowledge. All of those things will be delivered, and we're not just excited about what we're doing. We've actually received feedback from our advisory councils in the financial sector, mainly in the retail, banking, investment services, and insurance markets.
Tim,
And
you said this hasn't been done before. I like to think about it in terms of a smart chain almost, because
yes,
this is a new evolution of blockchain, and I think there's going to be a number of additional evolutions to go here as we move forward in the next 5 to 10 years. But the next evolution of blockchain is an embedded feature of AI that can provide smart functionality to whatever application that it's looking to serve. So we're talking a
100%.
lot. We're talking about banks and investment firms, but anybody under a compliance and a regulatory environment who operates with a big brother telling them what to do, essentially, can use this type of technology to automate and ensure that they keep doing what they're supposed to be doing.
100%. And we're seeing this. We're seeing parts of the service, Chad, built into certain aspects, right? Like look at what Microsoft is getting ready to release with their cognitive natural language processing API engine. That is going to be something where clients still have to understand how to develop into it. They're going to be pulling certain specific data sets, but more importantly, that environment is not going to be compliant itself. We are building our smart chain is going to be compliant. You can house your data and have the same assurances that you would have in an inside data center, but with more, right? With more assurances, because you have a distributed infrastructure that will be zero trust at the silicon level, up and down. You will have an immutable ledger that is encrypted. You will have encryption at rest. You will have distributed storage that will be identifiable off-chain and on-chain with the ledger. And we are meticulously architecting every aspect of this so it can scale. We've selected very specific technology partners and technology alliances, and are running these through our advisory board members on the business side and on the technology side to ensure that we don't miss anything, and we'll continue to do that. But I think for me personally, the thing that I'm most excited about and most passionate about is the AI itself. ComplyQ is a revolutionary product that will be sitting on this smart chain. And what I love about ComplyQ is it has enabled us to start with what we want this to solve. And then we have mapped to the dependencies of this AI model. And that is where the distributed infrastructure was architected. That is where the security was architected. And as Chad said, any regulatory body, whether it's critical infrastructure, energy, healthcare, even DoD or federal agencies, this will comply with the zero trust legislation across almost 60% of the countries today. But being able to create a data set out of this, have it learn a very specific industry and be able to scrape across industry is unprecedented, because as we said on other AMAs, from a traditional like data perspective. So think if I'm going to go inside of Microsoft or if I'm going to go inside of AWS and I want to use a data model, it is not computationally feasible to do this at scale. You would have to rebuild every environment one at a time, whereas with our technology, we can absorb and scrape these different regulatory aspects in real time for any regulated entity across the entire globe.
It'll be pretty cool the way we're setting up our blockchain in essence, because we'll have a local level where companies can come on and operate within their what we call local law, and the AI machine ComplyQ will be monitoring how all those companies are running their policies and procedures. And it will know the larger this user base gets, the more accurate and smarter the AI becomes, essentially, because it will have a larger random sample to monitor various changes and to make a determination of whether or not the regulatory law has changed based on what those local companies are doing. Yeah. So if we've had 30%, for example, 30% of our user companies on the blockchain update a specific compliance function within their business, the AI machine will recognize that, and it will say, okay, now we've got a large piece of our user base who has modified their policies and procedures in the same way. There must have been a regulation change. Okay, I'll go look. Yep, there's a regulation change. Now I go back and I see that 60% of these companies haven't implemented it yet, and I'm going to push it out to them and make sure that their processes and procedures allow for that update. So it'll be a mechanism. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well said, but let's give them a real-time example using collaborative wealth, right? We did this exercise, a week and a half ago? So you are at 300,000 in IT spend. We estimate a conservative 50% replacement of the 30-something technologies you have, right?
Yep.
Maybe give them some numbers around that spend, what it will cost you to deploy Vitreus, and the savings you will get operationally and from a capital perspective, just for context.
Yeah, we've let me run through how I want to present these numbers. So generally speaking, the technology side runs 300,000 for the entire tech stack. We've also got 3 people, employees, who run plus or minus about 200 to 215 in salaries, 215,000. So we're north of $500,000 in technologies and compliance infrastructure, more or less, because everything technology-wise is all built around making sure we maintain compliance. So let's assume $500,000, north of $500,000 in total compliance spend. The system we're estimating that we cut costs on the technology side by about 50%, and we remove the need for 2 of those compliance personnel that are in charge of gathering the data for the chief compliance officer to do her job. So we spend 3 to 4 months a year specifically going out and getting data from somewhere and pulling it together and putting it into spreadsheets and giving it to our chief compliance officer to do what she needs to do and archive it to move forward. The system will do all of that. All of the AI, all of the processes around gathering the data, everything will be automated and created into a deliverable for the chief compliance officer to essentially check a box and sign off on it, and turn what was a 3-month process into a 1 to 2 week process. So we're able to downsize or repurpose employees to something else to increase capacity substantially by implementing what we're building.
And that's just Vitreus Essentials at about $5,000 per year, right?
Right. Yeah. So, we're all in on technology. An estimated cost for collaborative to utilize the smart chain as a service infrastructure and essentials, which covers most of our compliance needs, at about $50,000 a year. So we can save about $125,000 in salaries and then probably $150,000 in technology. So we're in essence saving about $200,000 a year by making this change.
And this change takes about 2 months to implement. Since it's a smart chain as a service, the AI is automatically will learn and ingest the data. So there's no long implementation cycle. So I'm giving my side of this, right? So if you were to implement this in a cloud, you would be spending a minimum of $75,000 from an implementation perspective with licensing costs and others. So let's say conservatively it's $175,000 on top of that to get a fractional equivalency of what exists today. But instead, this is all done automatically from an operational efficiency, compliance, and it's all audited. Everything in the ledger is there. It's the audit trail, and you can't change it. It's immutable. You would have to change the entire consensus method, which is, again, feasibly impossible because you would have to have more than 51% of the validator nodes to do that, which is why this is going to be permission. So that is an example of Chad's company in the investment space, which is one sector of the entire financial industry. How many RIA firms are in the financial industry, roughly?
We've got, between investment shops and insurance carriers, there's about 1 million different small businesses that this infrastructure could apply to. And we're not limited to that. That's just the US market. And once we build this for the US market, and we've beta tested it with a number of firms and rolled it out, we can expand the use globally. The US market is about the most regulated. There are a few others that are a little bit more regulated, but from a restriction standpoint, the US is about as restrictive as it gets from a regulation side of things. So if we build it for the US, we can kind of carve in a number of other global jurisdictions under what we've already built for the US.
Right. And just,
so scaling
just
this globally should be pretty
easy.
quick. Sorry.
I agree. But this is just Vitreus Essentials. This is the core product of the smart chain AI. When we get into an advisory firm is using Vitreus Essentials, and we've got a nice base in the US. We're also, with Acquiesce, we want to create a community where Acquiesce is a foundry for distributed apps, smart contracts, and other, pieces of technology that people would want to, or companies would want to consume. So as Chad mentioned, a lot of these firms, most of this market of the investment firms are small businesses. What do you think, Chad? Like 30 people and below, roughly?
Yeah, I would say even smaller, probably 20
Yeah.
and below.
And so that's very important, because if I am a small business owner and I look at this fantastic technology, I don't want to use a public blockchain. There's plenty of good projects out there that provide these services. But if I am able to use a compliance audited smart chain, and I've got this wonderful community of developers that are able to create these applications, realize a revenue stream on their own when they're being consumed, that's also going to drive the value add of this community. So that's more revenue that we're bringing in. Emporium, which is the sister product to Acquiesce. So Acquiesce is the foundry, the development aspect. Emporium is the marketplace in which it's consumed. So as these innovative applications and whatnot are being built, they would be consumed with low, no code entry point on Emporium. And if I'm a 5, 10, 15 person investment firm, and I've just saved a lot of money, a lot of efficiencies, and a lot of headaches with Vitreus Essentials, and I want to do something with a digital asset, I can do that, because this marketplace will be there, and it's all within the Vitreus ecosystem. But what I'm also very excited about is what's called Advisor Retire, which is very specific to what you've been building, Chad. And I think maybe we should move into that, because this is a very big differentiator for us in this space as well, that will sit on top of all this technology.
Absolutely. Advisor Retire is kind of my baby from a product development standpoint. And I think it's going to be a big money maker in terms of bringing value to the blockchain ecosystem. So I want to talk about this, and I also want to give a little bit of a teaser on the things that we're working on from a different sector standpoint, because I think we'll start to paint the picture of how we can hyperscale this ecosystem, this blockchain ecosystems, into other areas beyond just financial services. But back to Advisor Retire. Advisor Retire was the program that I used to scale collaborative wealth initially, and I coined it as a succession planning program for retiring advisors. So we hyperscaled collaborative through acquisitions of retiring independent advisors to take on their client base and give them a path into retirement that was comfortable for both their client and for the advisor. And it worked really, really well. We did it a lot of times, and that's how we were able to hyperscale the company and bring on a lot of new client relationships at one time. It worked really well. We want to expand that concept into a product that operates on Vitreus, powered by Vitreus. And it will become a social community for bringing buyers and sellers together of financial-based businesses, and will provide them an environment to share best practices and to post information articles and success stories, and to access other counterparties, buyers meeting sellers and sellers meeting buyers, and ultimately coming together and finding good matches for who they want to ultimately purchase or sell their business to. Then the fun stuff happens, where we bring smart contract functionality into the middle and replace intermediaries. And we start to facilitate automated transactions of the buy-sell transactions between these buyers and sellers. And then we can leverage funding. Most of these deals are funded by financing, going out and getting loans. And as everybody here knows, lending within the crypto space is pretty prevalent. So being able to collateralize loans by pledging Bitcoin, for example, and accessing immediate loan capability to close those deals really truly removes everybody in the middle and allows a buyer and a seller to come together and facilitate an automated transaction on the chain and walk away without any funny business or one side hurting the other side or anything like that. So that is a very heavy potential cash cow. And there's a company, a Web 2 company currently doing this called Succession Link. And I think it's successionlink.com. You can go look at it. But it's the largest marketplace for buyers and sellers to go buy and sell financial businesses. There's 60,000 subscribers. And I think they're paying about $200 a month. So there's a very heavy need for a social environment like this. This is very big in my industry, but that can also be expanded into other areas. Truly a brokering of businesses between a buyer and seller. It doesn't have to be constrained to financial services. So very large scaling capabilities behind that concept as well. But we'll focus on what we know specifically, which is the financial services arena. Beyond that, we have unlimited scaling capabilities. So very excited about that platform.
Yeah, well said. I kind of wanted to circle back to what we're doing this year. We're just around where we've been doing these AMAs, getting this message out here. So by the end of this calendar year, we will have we will have developed Vitreus Essentials, brought it to market. So you will have a 3-layer chain, layer 3 being able to be extended or consumed in various ways, as Chad mentioned, as a parachain. A very big differentiator for us, as we can put it in an organization. We can dedicate it to an organization, or it can just be a very specific, use case behind an app or a portal. Our layer 2 being where the ledgers and the consensus and the AI lives, and then layer 1 being the data layer, where we can, intelligently pin data if needed in different configurations, whether it's data sovereignty laws, archival. That other layer can also use data sources if it is on-prem in somebody's data center. So let's say an organization is like, I want to use my existing systems. Well, they can do that. Right? We've really put a lot of mindful integration and implementation of what we call future state design considerations, which really is important because we know how we want this to be consumed. We know how, institutions, any regulated institution is going to want to use. We even have the ability to put this in the field at edge. I haven't said this yet because this is new. Chad, I haven't even told you this. I was excited to say this for the AMA, but we even have edge optimized compute for 5G and SD-WAN optimized abilities for this chain. So in other words, we can put this anywhere in the field and it will be able to interact. And we can do edge AI ingestion, and we can do what's called bare metal speed, which is a huge, huge differentiator for our ability to scale this in different fields as we look into different markets. So this has huge implications for energy, oil and gas, critical infrastructure, branch sites at banks, all of these very difficult areas and barriers of entry that, again, going back to that traditional cybersecurity element is very difficult to do.
Good. Mary, I know you had a lot of questions
I'm
last
awake.
time. I know we've been talking for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, you did so good, so I didn't really want to interrupt. I mean, you went through everything in a very good way, I think, and also very kind of not speaking too fast so I could follow. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, last time I asked a lot, right?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, what questions can we help answer for you today?
I think I would like to ask about education. How are you gonna educate people? I mean, this AMA is one thing, but how are you going to get your message out there? Because this is, as you said and mentioned a few times, actually, the smart chain is something new, right? It's people don't really know
Absolutely.
about this yet, and I mean, it can be a long way to get it out there, and I know you have a long way before you get the project totally launched and everything, and you're starting early, and I like that. But how are your plans on getting new people on board, if that's your plan, or is it mostly directed to companies? Yeah, now I'm rambling too many questions at once. I
No,
Yeah.
apologize.
Chad, you take this first, and I want to go into it. Go ahead.
Okay. Education is big for us. You know, we are super early in the process right now. From a capital raise and from a beginning to end launch standpoint, we are about as early as it gets. We just opened our seed round 2 weeks ago. We've raised 525,000, I think, was a recent number, and we're just positioning new NFT holders to come in and provide a commitment to getting this project off the ground. We've got a number of additional rounds coming up, pre-sale rounds that will facilitate additional sales at slightly higher prices. But the seed round is open today, and I think we've got it set to close in 2 weeks. So we've still got some time to raise some funds. We've already met our funding for our minimum viable product. So we're moving forward and beginning this build within the next week and a half or so. We've got the entire thing architected and ready to go, and we're just ready to begin moving forward with the actual construction. From
So
an
remind
education
us again, how do we buy this? What funds do we need? I mean, what kind of coins or tokens do we need to buy it?
Yeah, you're going to need either USDC or ETH.
Okay.
You can use either one of those. We have built our own NFT minting app, and you can get to that app by in your wallet browser or on any PC browser. You can go to presale.vitreus.io.
I just wanted to clarify that if you use USDC, it does need to be the ERC20 USDC. And if you use USDC, you will still need ETH for gas. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you do have some ETH in your wallet for gas fees.
And do it good times during the day, that it's not too high fees. That's good.
Also, Mary, if I may interject, last time we were on the AMA, we had buy limits of $500 minimum buy and a max buy of 50K. Those limits have been lifted, so you can buy whatever amount you want, even if it's just $50 or $100,000.
I posted up here. If you look up above your heads and scroll to the left, I posted it. I grabbed it from your page, so everyone can see that. Yeah, education, and then I was moving into something that I would like to ask, and that is because this smart chain is mostly built for like bigger maybe not bigger, but companies to use, right, and to build on. How can a normal investor like myself, how can I benefit from this now? I mean, yeah, I can participate in the pre-sale and buy the coin, but how does it benefit me yeah.
Well, so you're going to be a coin holder that will be able to commit to the VIP program. Let me walk backwards, and because we've got a little bit of time before you'll actually have coins in your wallet. Right now, the seed round, you're purchasing an NFT, and that's basically a voucher, an IOU, that at the point in the future when we launch the coin onto our chain, when it's complete, we'll be able to airdrop that coinage out to each of the NFT holders automatically. So between now and Q4, which we're projecting to be somewhere in the October, November timeframe, between now and then, you're going to have an NFT in your wallet that will represent a placeholder for any money that you put into your NFT. So you'll be able to see two things. You'll be able to see, one, the dollar value that you put into the NFT, and two, what that translates into in the form of Vitreus coins, how many Vitreus coins that'll be.
So
And
that could be like any amount, because normally you buy an NFT and it's like preset to something. Do I
Right.
buy an NFT for $100 or two NFTs for $200, or is it like whatever? If I put 52.3,
Yep.
whatever,
Yeah,
I get that?
If you
Is
put
it this
52.3 into your NFT, you'll see 52.3 as a property
dollars?
on that NFT in the wallet. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
then
a dollar. It's a dollar value, not it doesn't say in ETH, or because ETH goes up and down, or a
Yeah,
lot.
it'll be represented in USD. Yes.
Okay.
And so that'll sit there, and you can add multiple times too. So you can put 52.3 in, then you can put 100 in, then you can put 200 in, and it will just continue to accumulate dollars, USDs, and then
also if I
add.
buy in this pre-sale that you have now, this round, and if I want to buy more in the next one, do I get this? Do I keep the same NFT and add to its value, or?
Yes, yeah. So you'll have one NFT at all times per
Okay.
wallet. So you'll be able to have multiple wallets with multiple NFTs. But let's just
Yeah.
say you have one wallet, and you'll have one NFT in the wallet, and then let's say you purchase some now and some in May or June when we open pre-sale 1. You'll have two line items, two properties that show your purchase in seed and your purchase in pre-sale 1, because they're different value or coin price translations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that will be listed within the NFT. Can I also sell the NFT?
Yes, that is marketable at any point on OpenSea, and we've actually seen one NFT holder already sell their NFT on OpenSea.
Okay.
And that was a seamless transaction. So we know there is a liquidity capability still in the interim between now and launch. So if you need your money, or you don't want to be a part of the project anymore, you're able to sell that NFT. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to sell the whole then. You can't just sell a piece of it, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. I think
And you'll list that for whatever you want. So,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
And whether someone pays that is a different story, but we saw this one list. I think it had a $75 or $100 value, and they listed it for 1 ETH, and I think it closed. I think it closed at 1 ETH, which was pretty crazy. But it's out there, and there are people who want to buy the NFTs. So that is an option.
What do they look like, the NFTs?
The NFTs are spinning coins. Actually, we've got a
You said
a
that
visual
last time. I remember.
of the Vitreus coin, and it spins on itself, and it's a video image there that is stored in wallet, and it looks pretty cool, and you'll always have that NFT. So even when
will they always look the same?
Yes, yeah, they're always going to look the same. And when we issue the coins at the towards the end of the year, you're still going to have that NFT. So we're going to be able to bring additional value and propositions to anybody that had the NFTs that were early adopters, and be able to do some really cool things with people in the NFTs.
But here's an idea for you then. Why don't you make them slightly different for the different rounds that you have? Like now you have the first sale, they have one color or whatever, and then the next one has a different type or color, that you can also see that, oh, I was first, I was from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. Baron, he's in charge of the rendering of those visuals, but yeah, absolutely great idea that we could implement pretty easily. Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, it would make no, it's no problem. Actually, we had plans to make them different based on their value, make different value steps, so that you can actually see, okay, this one is really I don't know, 50K plus, and this one is below 1,000. And yeah, we've got that possibility. We can update the artwork, and we'll probably do that because it's getting hard to see, okay, which NFT is worth how much. Making it different based on the pre-sale round is a little bit more difficult because you only have this one NFT, which sale would you base it on? So I think if we change it, we will go the route of making it determine based on the value of the NFT. Different designs based on the value.
Maybe you can't add then. You get a new NFT when you buy in the next round then. Well, it's just an idea, guys.
Great idea. We've already minted 1,000 NFTs, so yeah, we're going to need something to differentiate somehow. That's a great idea.
Yeah, take it or leave it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we'll probably take it.
All right, I'll send the bill. No, just kidding. All right, so I like the thing that you said it's a smart chain. I like that. And you talked a lot about AI, how important that will be, and how that came now lately more and more into the play with your smart chain, or how was it there from the start, or what made you want that?
It was there from the start. Absolutely.
It was there from the start. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, the idea of compliance. Chad, correct or keep me honest. You've been thinking about this for 2 years, right? And that's in the investment space. So the reason why we went down the AI path is there's been advancements, but feasibly, like I said, computationally, what I mean by that is you wouldn't be able to amass the appropriate amount of servers to be able to in real time or effectively provide this data and these recommendations from compliance. So you would take this idea to somebody and be like, yeah, there are already companies who do that. It's not innovative. It's not disruptive. It doesn't help with these efficiencies. So from there, you look at this problem, you say, how do we tackle this? How do we tackle this across regulated sectors? How do we tackle this globally? And that's what we designed. This is a on-chain neural network that will scale infinitely as we scale the information, the scraping, the data, the compute, the memory, and the storage.
Great. Well, I would like to not go through, but that you talk a little bit about your roadmap ahead now, because I think there was some news coming, or some highlights from them. What's next now? You have the sale rounds, and in the background you're working, of course, with everything that's coming into place. And what are you developing new things? Are you still out there looking for new features to add, or how does it work?
Yeah, we are. We spent a lot of the time since November just getting everything designed, working with technology alliances, working with technology partners. We've spent a lot of time on market analysis for the initial sectors that we want to come to market with this year. So a lot of focus in investment, a lot of focus in commercial retail banking. And Chad, you want to talk about the latest sector that we're coming to market with that we're very new and kind of exciting?
Mary, I think Chad dropped down. I just see him as a listener right now. If you could bring him up again.
Yeah, where is he? Chad, can you raise your hand? If you can't, maybe you have to leave and come back. Oh, there he is. I see him.
You're there, Chad.
Well, I guess we'll have to replace him as CEO. Baron, you're CEO now.
He's back.
So we're very excited as we're going to be entering into the real estate market as well. We have got a very powerful use case around that.
That's interesting.
Yes, and this actually comes from a very specific use case from some folks that are in an advisory role for us. So we're very excited about the initial launch of Vitreus Essentials. Vitreus Essentials is the productization of our chain and our AI. And with that, we will be also be releasing our smart contract logic, which, as you know, will have different pieces of intelligence written into that, depending on how it wants to be used from a digitization aspect. From there, that is just, again, the baseline of Vitreus Essentials. As we move into early next year, that's when we're really going to focus on the Acquiesce Foundry, the languages, the communities, getting the excitement of having folks be able to develop their code inside of this chain, and then Emporium, which of course will be how the businesses consume it. So you asked a really good question earlier. How could you get involved, and what can you do? Well, for now, we just described the seed round, but in time, we're going to be serving two communities. Like, we're bridging the digital blockchain crypto communities with traditional businesses. And that really is going to be an important aspect between the Acquiesce Foundry developers on the digital side and then the consumers with Emporium on the marketplace side.
And since I know a little bit about real estate myself, and that's why I'm interested. So how are you going to use it? Are you going to use it to get to know who owns properties also?
I'll let Chad speak to that.
Yeah, and I haven't even released this information to our community yet, but
This is what happens at miners.
Hey, Mary brings out the information out of us. So, but no, I was out in Texas last week, and I was meeting with some pretty heavy land developers, and we were talking through the implementations and capabilities of the Vitreus ecosystem, and they're all real estate guys, and they're saying, how many different ways that this can bring value to their space, more specifically in the mineral rights. And if you know anything about land, especially in the US, there are different levels of rights, more or less. You could purchase land and not own what's under the topsoil. What's under the topsoil is called the mineral rights, and that gives you the right to drill for oil and any precious metals that might be below the surface, anything that's below
on some other one's lands. You mean you can?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
if I own your mineral rights on your land in the U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
I can essentially go drill and extract the resources from under the terra level of your land that you have a house or a property or something like that built on. So
do I have first dibs to buy that if I want, if I live there with my house and everything?
No, so that's just part of when you buy your
Really?
land to build your house. The person you're buying it from has the option to sell you the mineral rights along with that or not.
Okay.
And that's pretty common in the U.S. is for anybody selling big pieces of land to keep the mineral rights and sell you the land. And then there's also a pretty common situation where those mineral rights get divvied up and spread across many different people, and some people sell parts of the mineral rights, and from a record keeping standpoint, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And that's what we call title work, and who has access and rights to the title of those mineral rights. And there is a major need for organization and immutability and a sense of compliance around maintaining the records of the title work of those mineral rights. That's first application.
And you don't have like a register then, a national register that everyone can look in to see who owns what?
Not everyone. That's the thing. So you've actually got to walk into the city that has jurisdictional authority over that land and obtain that data in a pretty cumbersome process. And so there's no real easy way to keep audit function easy and paper trail and paper trail of the records, and as those mineral rights change hands, it becomes more complex and more complex. That's the first application of just basic blockchain. So where AI can come into play, and we've got this team in Texas that we're working with right now, they're looking to implement a smart system, an AI system like ComplyQ that can analyze data on land and create a recommendation to land investors of where the best opportunities are to purchase land within a jurisdiction. So for example, if I live in Florida, but let's say I want to buy some land in Texas and I want to go to San Antonio, I can go pay a fee to this company who can use the AI to generate a report to me that says, here are the best 3 opportunities for land development in the area. And here are the 10 reasons why. And it can output a deliverable to me that takes months of work and research and development to come up with the same information, and it gets it down to real time as a deliverable. And so that's what we're working on the real estate side, to be able to bring the smart machine learning side of the equation to access a lot of data points and pull it in and analyze it and create an output that's smart and value ridden.
And as I mentioned before, our parachains will be able to be deployed in the field and act as that rugged ingestion point with edge technology. And that is, again, a great example of our distributed infrastructure's ability to be able to deliver a smart chain with the AI as needed.
Yeah, so that's a real estate application. You know, we're working on a potential energy application, and we're working on a healthcare application. Any of these sectors that have a heavy compliance burden on them are going to find our AI capabilities very interesting. Outside of just the digital environment of a blockchain, the AI component, which we see as our flagship product, that's where people are going to find real, true proprietary value in what we're able to bring. That's what we're most excited about. And we're working through some patenting processes right now, and so we can't talk like detail. Wish we could, and we're excited to be able to, but as soon as we're able to move forward with certain
You'll
knowledge
come
around
back.
we'll come back, and we will share as much detail as we possibly can. Yeah.
Great. No, I like this. This is very interesting. I mean, everything that you talked about during this time here now and last time, it shows that this is a real company. This is something real that's gonna stay for a long time, I hope. No financial advice, guys, as always. Do your own research. But I mean, we have lots of projects coming through here and from all different kinds of, I don't know.
Yeah, I say it all the time on Twitter. You know, we are not a project. We are a company. We're building this like a company. We are putting the infrastructure into the business like a company. We are assembling advisory boards with very experienced disciplines that can bring different levels of experience to the table for us. We are building our sales channel and our reseller channel and everything.
And you have a physical office as well.
Yeah, we've got an office in the state of Florida that we, what we call our home base. A lot of us are virtual, Barron's in Germany, Taylor's in Canada. A lot of us are in Florida. We've got someone in Texas. So we're spread all over. But today in the virtual world, we operate just like we were, right next door to each other. So it's super easy.
Yeah, these times. We learned a lot during COVID.
Absolutely.
How to work together closely.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah.
But apart.
Yeah.
Yep. And also I wanted to ask, you have since you have a company, you also have this as you said advisory board, but that's not the same, I think. What I mean, it's like more a tech service or a help desk or something for those who decide to use your products. So
Yes, there will be
you're
support.
there.
Yeah, there will be customer success support, all of the normal tenets of a SaaS-based company. Absolutely. Yeah.
And how
That
many are
will.
working in the company now? Oh, sorry, Jared.
No, I was just going to say, just from a like scammer standpoint, that will be mostly for our, our business to business clients. If you happen to be like a coin holder or an NFT holder, just a reminder that our only support for the coin holders and the NFT holders will be our mods and admins and our social in our Discord and Telegram.
Yeah.
They will never DM you first, and we don't have a Vitreus support on Twitter. So if you see that, it's a scam. Run away.
Yeah, lots of scammers out there, especially when there is a big project or company coming with a big projects. There will be scammers, so watch out for those guys. Always go to the right. Be sure to follow Vitreus' main page up here now on stage, so you get it right, because there are scammers, as said. Well, it has been a pleasure having you again. I think we could have many sessions with you guys because there's so much to
Lots
talk
to talk
about
about.
and understand, because it is fairly complicated since it's also new. So it takes a while for people to understand. And I think the best way to explain it is that we did now also at the end to have some real case scenarios or yeah, so we can see how can it be used, like examples of exactly how it can be used. I like those kinds of examples anyway. That makes me understand better. So I like that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Mary, we really appreciate you having us for a second round here, and we're going to be continuing to develop our product and getting pretty heavy into the build part of the process. Talking about education, I don't think I even really answered that piece of the pie here. We've got a studio here in our home office in Florida, and we plan on doing every 2 weeks a build update, and really just a true update around everything that's happening within the Vitreus ecosystem, and providing that on a multi-channel standpoint and delivering what's going on, what happened in the past couple of weeks, where we're at in our build, because the seed buyers now, they've got a pretty long wait before there's actually truly a tangible deliverable of coins into wallet, and they can make decisions on what to do after that. And we know that. And so maintaining communication and educating holders between now and then is going to be really important for us. And we know it's going to be important for the coin holder. So as we grow and we develop and we expand all of the possible options, we're going to be sharing through those updates. So there's a newsletter sign up on our website. It's on the main page. I think, Baron, correct me if I'm wrong. And you can go there and put your email address in and get onto the list, and that'll keep you anonymous. It'll get you onto the list that we're going to be creating every 2 weeks in an outbound update newsletter and videos. So head over to the website and surf around and see what we're all about, and head over to our socials. We're very, very active in our socials, and we look forward to meeting as many of you as we can.
Yeah, in this the main Vitreus page that I'm speaking from, there is a link in the bio. It's got all of our it's got our website, our white paper, TG, Discord, all of our socials in there. So if you want to follow us, you can do so there, and it has a link to the main website where you can sign up for the newsletter.
Very good, thank you. And if you want to buy the coin or financial advice, you can buy in the seed sale round that's on right now and 2 weeks ahead, right? And
Yes,
then
on
you
our
go to
website.
your webpage. Yeah, website. Very good. With Ethereum.
Ethereum or ERC20 USDC. But like I said earlier, if you do use USDC,
You need Ethereum.
you need to make sure, you have some ETH for gas.
Yeah, that's good. All right, guys. And since we last was here, did any of you eat some pizza?
I ate a lot of pizza last night. I'm good on pizza for a while.
I was supposed to have pizza the other day, but I conned my husband into wings instead. But now you got me wanting pizza, so that might be tonight.
Okay. With
I
what
had
But
a
not with
kind
pineapple
of
pizza on
pineapple.
pizza?
Saturday. I had a pineapple pizza on Saturday. Mary. So there.
Oh,
Disgusting.
yeah, we have we have different views on this. So yeah, good thing you can still work together. Anyway,
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Mary. It was a pleasure.
thank you for coming. It was really a pleasure having you back. And yeah, you're always welcome back here. It's an you can be you could be standards come once a month or something. That would be great to
And
see
thank
more
you to
because
your community for coming out, and we hope that you guys will join the Vitreus community, and we can chat with you there.
yeah, go over there and ask your questions, guys, for the Vitreous team and the admins over there. And yeah, I wish everyone a great day or night or wherever you are, guys, as
Thank
usual.
you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mary.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.